we're here with Lisa from CrossFit Never Doubt.
Yep.
Lisa, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Talk a little bit about CrossFit. I mean, it's a community, and you incorporate so much into CrossFit. Some people don't even realize how much it takes to do a CrossFit workout, but talk a little bit about your facility right here.
Well, talking about the facility here, we've been here for about 3 years now. We've been in Milford for 5. We were over next to Acapulco's to begin with.
Excellent.
Yep, and we grew into this one. The community is really what I think makes CrossFit work, because if you don't come in, they miss you.
Yeah.
When you do come in, they cheer for you. It's a shared suffering. Oh, I mean a shared workout. So it's really good for us. So
That's great.
there are, the thing that's nice about CrossFit is that you can always scale it and modify. So if you can't do a certain movement, that's okay. We'll get another movement that you can do.
Excellent. So no intimidation factor.
Well, I think it's intimidating to go into any gym.
Any fitness facility.
But
yes.
once you walk in the door, you'll see the people here, and they'll pull you in and
So you won't
help
even realize it. You'll just become part of the community before you even can think about what you're doing.
It's true, and some people come in and they wouldn't have ever met each other before this.
Yeah.
But now we call them CrossFit spouses, or
okay.
they're CrossFit BFFs, because that's their person that they work out with.
And when you're doing a CrossFit workout, I mean, we were in here, I think towards the tail end of one that we caught today. I mean, people are just like powering through everything. The coaches seem really motivating, and the workouts seem like they are really effective. But talk about a little bit about the philosophy behind CrossFit. Talk about the mindset behind CrossFit. What do you want people to take away and have to motivate them to maybe get involved a little bit?
There's a couple things to say about that. First of all, the coaches are a part of the motivation, as well as the community. The CrossFit itself is an easier way to work out, if you will, because you aren't alone. So you walk in the door and you don't have to think. It's not back and buys day or whatever. You don't have to motivate yourself to get on the elliptical. You just walk in and the coach warms you up, gets you flexible, and then warms you up for the movements, and we do the workout together. Yeah.
And does it go by classes? How does your weekly schedule go for workouts?
Yep, we have classes. They're all classes, Monday through Friday. We have starting at 5 a.m. through 6:30 p.m. Except for Fridays, we have only till 5:30.
Oh wow!
Most people are at Acapulco's.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Then they go down the street.
Exactly. But the thing about it is that it's scalable. As I said, there's 10 areas of fitness that we talk about in CrossFit, which is I won't name them all, but coordination to strength to agility to balance. So flexibility, speed, they're all different areas. So you might say, ooh, I can do 3 of those, and I'm good at 3 of those, but I can get better at the other several. So that's what we try to do, is really mix it up, make it constantly varied, functional movements. So if you're traveling and you need to lift your suitcase up and put it into the overhead bin, that's like a clean and a jerk.
It is. I actually saw someone doing that exact movement when we walked in, and that's what it made me think about, is lifting a suitcase or just lifting properly. Right. And talk about your facility is located right at one of the trails. And the Friends of the Milford Upper Charles Trail is like literally right out that door. Talk a little bit about, a lot of people might not know this, but you guys are adopters to the trail.
We are. In fact, the reason we chose the spot we are in now and the spot we had initially is because it was right on the trail. And we are what we call a running gym. So my husband and I both are avid runners, and so we wanted to be able to incorporate that into CrossFit. You might notice that some CrossFitters don't really love running, so we're trying to help them embrace it. But the trail is really important to us as a family. We have a 16-year-old who's grown up riding his bike on it and running on it, and because we live in Holliston, can get all the way here with it.
Without it,
Yeah, so it's wonderful to be on the trail.
And so when you're going out on the trail, you're incorporating the CrossFit community, you're incorporating the Milford Trail community. I mean, it seems like just being part of CrossFit makes you part of your own community, and then you become part of the friends as well. And is that what made you decide to become an adopter, is just the community aspect of it?
It's a community aspect, and it's the fact that we use it a lot, and we really wanted to help maintain it, and we wanted to get the word out that it's out there. And again, as runners and fitness people, we just want to see people be active. This last summer, we were really lucky to be able to host our first annual Hula Hustle 5K, which we held right here in Pheno Field. And it went on the trail, through the field and on the trail, and over to Dilla Street and back. And it was a fundraiser for one of our community members, her goddaughter, Jackie Gray, who lost her life a couple years ago. A year and a half ago now.
What is involved in a hula hustle?
Well, it was a theme because she was a dancer. She loved life, and she was very vibrant. And so we just encouraged people to have a good time in the summer and wear their grass skirts and any other kind of Hawaiian garb. And they really did. They showed up. I'll tell you that. It was successful.
Such a fantastic idea.
Yes, but we did want to have it right on the trail, again, to just get people to know that it's there and start to use it.
What do you think when you're walking along on the trail or running? I mean, I've been on many different parts of the trail. We filmed many different parts of the trail. There is so many beautiful aspects to the trail. It really just takes you don't even think about the running aspect of it. I mean, in terms of, you don't think about how out of breath you might be or how difficult it might be because your surroundings are so distracting.
They're gorgeous.
And kind of like when you're in a CrossFit workout, you're motivated. So I think the two tie in very, very well.
Yes, we agree with that. Yes.
What else do you use for almost some CrossFit stuff, do you use it personally yourself outside of CrossFit?
Yeah, so just so you know, with CrossFit, we do go out there and we'll do warm-ups out there. We'll do maybe we'll have a team workout as we did on Saturday, where part of it is to run out and do a 200-meter run and come back in and continue doing work in here. But again, I'm a runner, so is my family. Both my son and we have a dog who's also a runner.
Oh, gee.
I know.
Yep.
So with the 3, 2, 1 go, he's 3, 2, and he takes off. He's a little bit of a cheater. But we do use the trail a lot, and we just walked the new portion of it in Holliston, which I think Milford helped us with too, some of it. So we're really excited about that. It's beautiful. It goes over the arches. But you can walk, you can ride your bike to the different restaurants and coffee shops. I know some people from here will run from here and they'll run into Holliston, stop at one of the coffee shops, come back in. So it's a great place to be. Kids are out there.
It's safe.
It is safe.
A very safe place to be.
It is safe.
We filmed over the summer. We filmed some people from the youth center. They put down kindness rocks on the trail. But I mean, you really get the spirit of what the trail is meant for. You see so many varieties of activities out there: dogs, families walking their dogs, bikers, rollerblading. I mean, quite honestly, ever since I was a child, hadn't seen much rollerblading until I came to the trail. But it's just like such a safe place to go. And when you're in a community of people, you feel even safer. You feel like you're part of something bigger. And I think that's really the spirit of what Milford instills by having the friends of the trail.
Yes.
And they're lucky to have you guys as adopters as well.
And we're happy to do it. We have a great spot over at Louisa Lake Park there.
Oh, yes.
So it's a wonderful spot over there.
It is a very wonderful spot over there. You get that either on a nice summer day or a nice fall day when the sun's out, and it is gorgeous.
Yes, and it's busy.
Yeah.
And talk about being fit over there. People are out barbecuing and they're fishing, and so there's a lot of just outdoors activity that I think is fostered by the trail being there. And
I think having people realize, for people in Milford who are watching this, knowing how many different businesses are involved and really involved. We've interviewed several so far, but CrossFit as a community, and I keep bringing up that word because Milford in itself is everyone in Milford knows each other. It's a big community effort, but people might not have known that CrossFit, being a community that you are, was so involved in the trail. So we're really trying to bring that to people's attention and getting people to understand more the sport of CrossFit and how it ties into the trail. It's not about just coming into a facility and going hard. You also use your surroundings.
We're out there. We're out there.
Yeah,
exactly.
What else would you want people to know about your facility, about the trail? Maybe something that you are personally doing on it, or that you want Milford to really realize for people who don't use it and they should get out there and do it.
Well, I'd like to say that one thing, I have to say again that we do the Hula Hustle. It's going to be our second annual, and that's for a really great cause. It's August 18th this year.
Okay.
And that's for Jackie Gray's foundation, Scholarship Foundation. So that's a really wonderful Milford cause. Exactly. And then us on the trail, we just like to get out there and show people that they can get fit. And we get a lot of comments. We have the senior center people walking around, and they see us out there doing push-ups or squats, and sometimes they say they'll take a picture or video of us and want to get involved. You know what I mean?
Great.
It's cute. Yeah. And we keep telling them that, come on in. It's all approachable for everybody. Sure, anytime you walk into anything new, it may be intimidating, but once you get in, just like you said, the Milford community and the CrossFit community here will pull you in.
May actually have a hard time leaving once you get
Well, you saw
involved.
them. They were hanging out.
They were just hanging out.
We call them the 9:30 class, but they'll stay till noon. I'll say, don't worry, noon won't mind.
Well, I have to say, when we first came into this facility, Lisa was very welcoming, by the way. When we came in, she just like walk around the gym. I am going to challenge Lisa to a couple of things after post-shoot. That's going to be fun, so stay tuned for that. I will say on camera, I've done CrossFit a couple of times in my life. It's not something I do weekly, but it is certainly something different that I incorporate in. And for a lot of people watching, even if you do all different types of workouts, or even if you're not terribly active right now, CrossFit is a great thing to get involved in if you're a beginner, if you are already doing strength training, or if you're using the trail and you've never really stopped by Never Doubt. They're here.
Yep, we're here. You can
right
walk in the back door, come on in and take a look. We also have high intensity interval training classes as well, kind of a boot camp type of class we call Peak Fitness. So if you feel like that's a little bit better, that might be better for you. No crazy movements or heavy lifting, but yeah, there's a lot of options here.
All varieties, it seems like.
Yep, and we have endurance classes. So we do have running that we do here, just running specifically on the trail.
That's even better.
Yeah, exactly.
So Lisa, tell the viewers how they can get in touch with you if anyone wants to reach out to Never Doubt and you personally.
Yep, you can just email me at lisa@crossfitneverdoubt.com.
Excellent.
That's it, and our blog is crossfitneverdoubt.com.
Any type of social media that you're on that you might want to reach out to?
It's just Facebook and Twitter and
all that.
Our blog, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you doing this interview with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we really appreciate you being adopters to the friends as well. And get out and check out Never Doubt and check out the trail as well.
Please do.
It's always a great thing to get involved in Milford community stuff, the hula hustle.
Yes, thank you.
And Never Doubt.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks a lot, Daniel.
Hi, we're here today with Carin from Critter Visits, and we're here to discuss how Critter Visits came to be. Talk to us a little bit about your place here.
Sure. Well, we started Critter Visits in 2002 when I was dog training full-time, and some of my clients and friends needed help in the middle of the day while they were at work. They wanted their dogs let out, so I started doing that, and it grew when I left my dog training full-time. I had enough clients to not have to get a part-time job.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I continued doing that for a few years by myself, and then hired my first employees. And then with my now partner, life and business, Scott, we expanded into doing daycare. And then when we bought this house, we decided to expand into boarding as well. We've been doing training on and off since the beginning a little bit, but with Scott coming on, he has such a great natural way with dogs that we started training as a full-time part of the business as well.
Excellent. Talk a little bit about the location. So you're located here in Bellingham. Mm-hmm. For anyone who might drive by here or sitting here talking with you, you have kind of an awesome landscape going on here for what you're doing. But talk a little bit about how this came to be, and how long have you been in business as well, here, at least here in Bellingham?
So we've been in business since 2002. We started in Bellingham and then moved to Medway and then Milford, and then we moved back to Bellingham, and we've been in this location on Blackstone Street since 2012 or 13, I think.
Okay.
And we have over an acre and a huge fenced yard as you may see it's double fenced, so it's 2 5-foot fences kind of meshed together. So it's about 7 or 8 feet in most places. The front of the house is also double fenced, so we have 2 gates in order for a dog to be able to get out, which they don't.
And how'd the name Critter Visits come to be?
Actually, my brother helped with that.
Nice.
I had a hard time finding a name. I'm not very creative when it comes to that stuff, and I wanted to make sure that the name encompassed more than just dogs.
Okay.
Dogs are a huge part of our business. However, I wanted to make sure that people knew they could hire us for guinea pigs or hamsters or chickens or horses or anything. So Critters kind of covered everything. And I had Googled the name. One of the things that we were doing is we were doing visits. We were visiting your dogs. So that kind of
Played a role.
Right. And my brother helped me come up with that name, and I Googled it and couldn't find it anywhere in the country, although that was so many years ago. It was 15 years ago. So
Wow.
I don't even know if it was Google that I was using, to be honest with you.
Could be.
So yeah, but I did look and I couldn't find anything else, and that's how we got it.
A lot of people might not know this, but Critter Visits is also an adopter of the Friends of the Milford Upper Charles Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about how that partnership came to be, and especially what's it involved to be an adopter as well.
Well, to be honest with you, the first time I heard about the Milford Trail, a friend of mine lived in Milford and was going to a town meeting at the senior center and said, this is something and people can walk their dogs on it.
Yeah.
And so I was excited about that, and I went to the first meeting, and I actually think I have an article somewhere of us walking on the trail together. It's just such a beautiful resource, and I wanted to be part of it. I like to go for walks. I want my clients and friends and anybody who has a dog that wants to walk them in a place can. There's so many places that dogs are banned.
Yeah.
Town parks, and granted, you should be on leash. Dogs should always be on leash in this situation,
Yeah.
especially on the trail, and I've seen some that aren't. However, we wanted to be able to give people a place to practice dog training, to exercise their dogs, to socialize their dogs in an outdoor environment, and it's just such a great place to do that. So one of the first things we did was decide to donate cleanup stations, and that just involves a bag dispenser,
That's right.
right? And then I guess they originally had the wire mesh trash bags, trash containers, and now we use the plastic ones because they don't disintegrate. And we've donated, I believe, 3 to the trail, including the most recent one, which I don't know where that's going. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not even put up yet.
So when people are walking the trail, which they do every day, even in conditions, today we have a little bit of inclement weather, but people will still be walking the trail, and they will bring a lot of their pets on it. So when they're seeing those dispensaries, that's part of your contribution as an adopter. And I know when we've covered the fall cleanup effort, there have been dispensaries and also the trash barrels that we've highlighted. So a lot of what are people using to keep the trail clean is a direct contribution of you being an adopter.
Well, that's great to hear. I think it's a wonderful resource to have, and the fact that we're helping contribute to the trail being kept clean is great. And I encourage people to use it. And if for some reason the bags are low, to let the trail committee know, and we do our best to help clean that stuff up.
I think you're doing I would have to say you're doing such a service, and being kind of anonymous in a way. I mean, a lot of people didn't know that there were adopters to the Friends of the Milford Upper Charles Trail, and even still, we've been highlighting adopters, but a lot of the work that goes into the trail and keeping it and making it such a beautiful place to walk is a direct contribution of adopters. So we thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
And talk a little bit about when you're out training animals. I hadn't even thought about the trail in that respect, but a lot of people think about exercising on the trail. A lot of people think about walking in groups. A lot of people can argue that a dog is a man or woman's best friend, and I think that's an excellent way to use the trail. What other types of trainings have you done on the trail? Like, take us through what's involved in that.
Well, in the past, I've done some group classes where 4 or 5 people will come with their dogs. Again, everybody on leash, and we will walk single file, and I'll be leading and say, okay, everybody stop. And then they ask their dogs to sit and or down, and then we keep going. Sometimes we'll just be off the side of the trail when there's space, and have bikes go by and kids go by, and we are encouraging the dogs to behave, not jump, not pull, not bark, and not be fearful or aggressive in any way. So that's stuff that I've done in the past. I haven't been the main trainer in this situation in critter visits in a long time, but I know, actually just spoke to somebody yesterday that is it's a puppy that we take care of through critter visits and in training and daycare, and they live in downtown Milford, and it's like a 5-month-old puppy, and every time she sees somebody, she gets excited, she jumps, and that, you just don't want it. You don't want dogs jumping on people
all the time. Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, they could knock a kid over, they could knock a senior over. So one of the suggestions was, if we have a nice day over, the next couple weeks, to meet on the trail and have a training class there, so you have natural distractions. Dogs can behave really well in your living room, but how can they behave right at the vet's office, or on a public walking trail, or downtown, or so many different places? You want to be able to bring your dog, and if they're not well behaved, it's embarrassing, it's frustrating, it's mortifying, so many different things. And
sometimes people think it's the direct result of the ownership, which not necessarily always the case. As a dog owner, I know that.
Yeah.
But I brought my dog on the trail, and he loves it. And I've seen all different types of animals on the trail as well, and I think it's, not just a resource for people to use, but people, their pets, making it a community thing. And any type of day, people use the trail all year round, so it's an excellent way to incorporate all walks of life into that.
It is. One of the things I love about it is that every single person you pass says hello.
Yes, they do.
You make eye contact, you say hello, and that to me is really important when you're walking on the street, which, we don't walk downtown anymore.
Yeah.
But, we're not a society of walkers. Our neighborhoods are not set up that way. We have a sidewalk that kids use and stuff, but you don't see that many people walking on it. So. And
even when you do, a lot of people think, that isn't safe to do.
Exactly.
Or safe to do in our current living circumstances in modern day. I think the trail, as it wraps around a lot of the towns, is an excellent and safe resource to use. And talk a little bit about how many animals do you see a week, and the schedule that revolves around that a little bit.
I do walk with two other people at separate times with our dogs, and we see, and that's usually weekday mornings or early weekend mornings. And we usually see at least 3 other people in like a 3-mile stretch. We usually see at least 3 other people with their dogs, and maybe 4 or 5 bikers and 4 or 5 other people walking, and it's wonderful. And it's good weather, some not so great, not as bad as today, but not so great weather as well. As far as critter visits goes, we have a fabulous staff of between 15 and 17, depending on the time of year. And we do,
That's a great group.
yeah, it is. We do between about 270 and 350 visits per week. So those are visits that we make to your home when you're at work or on vacation or at the beach or at the movies or Christmas shopping, wherever you want to be. If you can't be there for your pet, dog, cat, fish, bird, guinea pig, hamster, we can be there.
You cover it all.
We do. We do.
That's so awesome. And I mean, what a service to provide where it's home base, it is a comfortable environment, and you incorporate aspects of the trail and exercise aspects like activities for all these pets. And I mean, I'm not sure how many other people in this area know about Critter Visits, but you seem extremely busy. So
we are busy, and we're very, very thankful.
Yeah.
We have a great community. We have some clients that have been with us since day one.
Wow.
And we get new clients all the time. So we're very thankful. And it is 24/7, especially over holidays and weekends. When we have a dog here, there is always somebody home, and it's usually one of the two of us, and we that's why when we do take a vacation, we shut down for 2 weeks, because if a dog gets up in the middle of the night, we get up in the middle of the night. If they're having a bad night, we're having a bad night. If they're having a fun night just because they feel like playing all night, we're having a rough night too. So it's just what we do, and that's okay. And that's okay, because if we're tired in the middle of the day while the dogs were napping, we can nap.
Right.
We do whatever it is they need.
I would have to say, to sum all this up, I mean, you provide great services for animals of all types. You've been in the community, Bellingham, Medway, Milford, and you also make great use of the Friends of the Upper Charles Trail, adding value to it as an adopter, and also just adding value to it through pet and individual activities. And I would highly suggest anyone to check out Critter Visits, because it seems like A, a lovely place, and B, it seems like someone that you can definitely trust with your pet, and we all know that can be very difficult to find sometimes. Carin, I want to thank you for sitting down with us. I also want to thank you for being an adopter of the trail and everything that you do for all of our pets.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and I'm happy to do it. It's just, I'm glad to be a part of the community and be able to contribute.
And we thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Sit.
And just
Down.
energy through the roof.
Yes, good girl. Ready? Touchdown. Yes, good girl.
Hi, I'm Mike Morrison, President of the Friends of the Milford Upper Charles Trail. Here's your update from the Friends for November 2017. Recently, we completed our fall trail cleanup, so I'd like to thank everyone who came out, especially our adopters, for helping to keep the trail looking as pristine as it does. Speaking of looking new, the Milford Highway Department recently installed some new striping down the trail and crosswalks, so a big shout out, a big thank you to them for all their hard work, and also repairing one large crack that had resulted in the trail surface. And the accessibility project around Louisa Lake is underway as I speak, and hopefully will be completed before winter really sets in. And lastly, we're still looking for a secretary to help us out at meetings and membership drives. So if you know anyone, or if you yourself would like to volunteer with friends and help us out, please let us know at trail@milfordtrail.org. So thanks for watching.